Hello and welcome to the third in my series of videos all about my new army that I'm building for a Warhammer 40,000 Escalation League. In this video I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the Codex, a few things about some of the doctrines, the doctrine that I'm going to use, and kind of general thoughts on the kind of the theme of my army. So this will probably be a shorter one today. Yeah, so I spent quite a bit of time reading through the Codex. As I said before, this is my first time collecting Guard, so this is all quite new to me, really. So yeah, first thing is this is the second of the 8th Ed Codexes that I've bought, and I'm really quite consistently impressed with the quality of the printing. I mean, what I was used to back in the day was, soft back, pretty thin, whereas it's got a lot in it, a lot of fluff, a lot of ways just to think about how to build an army. So I spent quite a lot of time just kind of reading through some of the ideas, in particular about company, and that's kind of made me think about a little bit about how I want to organise my army, because I want to, while platoons aren't a thing in 8th edition, I want it from kind of a storytelling perspective to kind of represent a platoon. So that's going to be quite interesting. It's kind of difficult to do with just a patrol detachment, which is what the Escalation League is, because you've only got partly because you've only got the 2 elites. So if you've got a command squad, that takes up 1, and I've already bought some Bullgryns, as you saw in the first video. So that's automatically 2. Whereas I may want to think about, someone suggested already a priest with the Bullgryns, or I really want a veteran squad. And I'm going to get some scions at some point. And do I want a scion veteran squad? So there's a lot of interesting kind of things for that. But that's kind of the point of the league as well, because the idea of it is to not really be able to spam too many units, to create something that's balanced. So for the first time, I've never really been someone who picks up much heavy support. I've had to really think about that. Hence, I mentioned in the first video, I believe, that I'm going to go for 3 Leman Russes. I've never really gone for tanks before, but I'm going for them now, and I'm going to be going for I'm planning to build 3 Hellhounds, which I've decided to convert from Chimeras. I'll be talking about that a bit in either the next or the 5th video. But yeah, so that's really interesting. So it's really interesting to kind of just read through that and kind of get to understand it. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's all the usual stuff. I think one of the big things for me was reading the different regiments, and kind of the ideas behind them. I was, things like, I was never a huge fan of Catashans, for example, but actually the fluff around them is incredible. It's really interesting, and of course. I'll go back to this because I do love the artwork for this, especially this guy. Just like the weightiness, the heaviness of them. I think the last time I'd seen Catashans in artwork was I think there was in 3rd Ed there was a Catachan Codex. I remember seeing that was the cover for it. But yeah, the artwork in these new codices is brilliant. And again, you've got things here where, there's a lot of stuff in here explaining that the kind of Cadian pattern of armour is quite common in the doctrines and so on, throughout the Imperium. But again, I was thinking, so that works with mine in that, they've got Cadian style armour, but I don't want them just to look like Cadians, but a different colour, because, you can paint Cadians a different colour. So I have wanted to change that a little bit. So, I had thought about it before, and different things, in terms of doctrines, whether I wanted to go for, maybe Steel Legion or something. I've always really liked the Steel Legion. Not really practical to collect. But in the end, and again, look, that's fantastic artwork. Great little bit of fluff in there. Again, just really good ideas. So yeah, reading through this was really interesting. what I've decided to go for, and reading about like the different things. So I'm gonna have kind of my company commander is for now it'll be a company commander, but later on I think that will almost certainly be a platoon commander or like a lieutenant. I'm going to come up with my own kind of naming convention for ranks, which I think will be which I'm quite looking forward to. So I'll put a link to it, but I've got a Tumblr which I'm updating with pictures, and I'll link the videos there. But I'm going to put up some bits. I'm going to like sketch out some maps, things like that, a few short stories, that sort of thing, just to kind of flesh out the fluff behind these guys. You know, and things like, you know, now you can take Crusaders in there. That's something that further down the line after this campaign I'm definitely thinking about, because I really like the idea of those and the idea of converting some of those up. So yeah, really good, really interesting. I don't know if I mentioned before, I've decided to go with the Armoured Sentinels rather than the Scout Sentinels. And on that note, I need to check some of the rules with heavy weapons and so on. But in terms of doctrines, I have decided to go with Talon. So I want my force to be relatively mobile. And of course, one of the things with this is with while, you know, I'm going to have things like a fire base in terms of, you know, 3 standard Lehman Russes, being able to then move and fire heavy weapons. So vehicles with doctrine do not suffer the penalty to their hit rolls for moving and firing heavy weapons. That to me sounds great, because, you know, if I need to, you know, I'm going to have that fire base, but say, for example, someone brings something through and all of a sudden they're under threat, or I need to move them slightly to get a better line of sight, I can do that. And that sounds, you know, really good. And also it's then worth, you know, I want to arm them with plenty of assault weapons and things like that, because eventually I'm going to, you know, I want to be able to advance, this whole thing that you can advance and not take the penalty for assault weapons, for hit rolls, and that also you can advance with, say, rapid fire weapons, which is pretty good. So I like that. In the games I've played, I've really liked being able to change my plans and adapt to the situation, and I think the Talon one kind of allows that to happen. So that's it really. I'm really impressed with the Codex. Really good read. I still haven't read everything. I've kind of read through the heirlooms. I can't decide yet what I'm going to do. I've already speak to a few of the guys at the shop, see what they thought. I might go with this Claw of the Desert Raiders, because my commander at the moment has a power sword, so that seems pretty straightforward kind of thing to use. And also I think one of the Talon trait means that you can all friendly Talon users within 6 inches of them can charge even if they fell back that turn. You know, the idea that you know, if someone's charged me, I'm stuck in combat, so I fall back, and then I've got a few units that I want to then be able to charge back in the next turn. Sounds like a really kind of great idea, and it makes me think that maybe I might stick a later on have a unit with some power fists or something like that, like stick the power fist on sergeant. That could be quite interesting. But yeah, so that's it. This has actually run longer. This is probably now the longest video, but yeah, I just wanted that as a really quick overview. So do subscribe, like, so on. I'll be posting a couple of videos a week. I'll try and record a battle report next Monday. See how that goes. If not, I will just write something up on the Tumblr, and should be some more pictures coming soon. And before the end of the week, I will have something up on just the conversions that I'm going to do. And also I've finished off, almost finished off now, my 2 test models, which I kind of put on the back burner while I was just putting everything together and actually getting the basics done. which I'm tempted to show you because it's next to me, but I won't yet. But yeah, thank you for watching.